Hello, hello, thank you for watching another episode of Cooking with Gravy or Chasing Graves. Today's episode, we're going to make cauliflower crust meat pies. Today's recipe is going to have plenty of cauliflower, plenty of meat, and plenty of flavor, and a little bit of wine. Now, today's recipe is going to taste good is because it's going to be made with love. As my dad always said, that's what makes everything taste good. Now, today's recipe, I would recommend throwing a head of cauliflower in a food processor to the point where it is a consistency of rice. Okay, then after that we want to boil it for 5 minutes. We already have it in our cheesecloth that is right there, and we wring out all of that water. Then we're going to add some cheese, which is around half a cup of mozzarella cheese. You can pick whatever cheese you want. I just like it because it's a little more loose. And we have 2 eggs we're going to be putting in there. Eggs will be more like glue, just like the cheese. We have some salt, we have some pepper that we're going to be throwing in there too. Then we're just going to put everything into a bowl and we're just going to mix it together. Now, fun fact, broccoli is in the same family as cabbage, Brussels sprouts, and kale and collard greens. Nice little fun fact of the day. Now, if you're going to mix this, mix everything to it's all even. We want all that food to be kind of into that glue of a shape. It kind of makes it act more like an omelet then. So this makes more of like a less carb crust. So it's going to be a little more healthier if you are looking to avoid certain carbs. So just more of just like a higher protein, higher fiber. So it's all around going to be pretty tasty though. Now, on those cupcake pans, we already pre-greased those, so after we're done mashing all of that together, and we're just going to put them in to the that pan. Make sure you just spread them apart enough. You don't need to make them too thick or try not to make them too thin. It's just one of those things you just need to play by ear. And naturally adjust your seasonings to your flavoring. And to be honest, it never hurts to add a little extra oil. Me personally, I like to use a little bit of olive oil. If you want, butter works fine too. I'm just being a little extra thorough. So you don't need to get too fancy. Put it in there. You don't need to make it too thick. Now this will fill up the whole entire pan, which is going to be nice. Now while that's baking, we're going to bake that for around 14-18 minutes. Or until at least it's brown. Now we're going to have some mushrooms, some onions we're going to be throwing into our pan. We're going to make sure they're nice and cooked. We have 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic. We're just going to go throw right in there. Make sure that it gets nice and cooked so we get all that nice flavor in there. Now we're going to have a 1/2 cup of red wine we're just going to throw in there. And when you have a chance, it doesn't hurt to pour your a glass for yourself too, if you're old enough naturally. I enjoy the red wine, gives it a good little flavoring with it. Now we have about 2.5 pounds of ground beef that is already cooked. We can throw it in there. You could technically just cook it at the same exact time. It's not going to hurt anything. We just did this earlier just to save time for the video. Now, another usage fact that cauliflower can also come in multiple colors: purple, orange, brown, and yellow. So a little fun fact about cauliflower. And because I like the more that wine tasted with my meat, I just throw a little extra in there too. Naturally adjust any of these seasonings to the flavor you want. We have the green beans. We have 1 can we're just going to be throwing right in there. Green beans will give it a little more, the green peas, I keep on saying the opposite, but the green peas will give it a little more of a sweet taste. Now, we have some chopped broccoli and cauliflower. We're just going to be throwing in there a little bit. Now, some of them were a little too big, so I'm just shredding them up in my hand a little bit just to throw them in there. Now for the seasonings, we got the Pollo seasoning, we got Lawry seasoning salt. I'd recommend start with a little bit, like a teaspoon, just add more. Since I already know that I like it to be a little stronger, I always add a little extra of the Pollo seasoning. We got the salt and the pepper. Then you can put this in, you could do this two different ways. You can load the meat in there, then take them out, or you can actually take out the cupcake things, then load them up. And I like to top it off with a little bit of some feta cheese, something that is, I would try to put it in the oven just so I can get to melt it a little bit, but to be honest with you, it tastes good either way. Like any of our recipes, we don't get many complaints on them. We usually get pretty good compliments. And this one, we actually get pretty good compliments on this one. Now, tastes phenomenal, tastes great. Highly recommend doing it. Good crust alternative if you look at something a little more low carbish. If you do like the video, please leave a like or subscribe. And thank you very much for watching. Bye.